Welcome back to the Malaysia Money Matters show. It's the 16th of October 25. We've got quite a bit to get through today. Lots happening domestically with companies, infrastructure, and then some big moves internationally too. Our mission, as always, is to cut through the noise and tell you what really matters. Let's jump right in with some Malaysian company news. Okay, first up is NexG. They've secured another major government contract. Their third, actually.
That's right. An 18-month extension this time for supplying foreign worker cards. It runs until April 2027. This adds to their recent wins for MyKad and Passport, so yeah, it really cements their role in these key government projects.
Right. But here's the strange part. At the same time, 5 board members have resigned, including independent and executive directors.
Exactly. And that's the real head-scratcher here. You have this massive contract growth showing government confidence, and then boom, this sudden directorial turnover. It just raises questions, about internal stability, maybe governance risks, even as they're locking in all this government revenue. It's quite the contrast.
Definitely something to watch. Okay, sticking with government tech. HeiTech Padu. Their NIISe contract value went up.
It did, by about RM 157.8 million. So the total value is now over $1 billion ringgit. RM 1.05 billion, to be precise.
Wow. And why the increase?
It's specifically for adding the automated biometric identification system, or ABIS, fingerprints, facial recognition, that sort of thing. It's a pretty crucial enhancement for national security within the immigration system. Although you might remember the Public Accounts Committee did raise some concerns earlier about potential overlaps with existing systems.
Right, I recall that. Okay, let's shift gears to energy. Tenaga's planning something big with Sarawak, right?
Very big. They're actively seeking partners now to form a consortium. The plan is to build this huge power link between Sarawak and peninsular Malaysia.
How huge are we talking?
We're talking about transmitting up to 2,000 megawatts of hydropower. And it involves laying a 700-kilometer subsea cable. It's a massive undertaking.
And the impact, this is part of that bigger regional grid idea.
Exactly. It's a major piece of the Asian power grid puzzle.
Yeah.
But what's really interesting is that 70% of the power generated is actually earmarked for export to Singapore.
70%. Wow. So this is Malaysia really pushing to be a regional power exporter.
Absolutely. It signals a serious move towards regional energy integration and, potentially a significant revenue stream tied to green energy.
Interesting. And staying domestic for a moment longer, we're seeing some action on the retail IPO front too.
Yeah, a couple of names heading for the ACE market. You've got Goldfinch Group, the jewelry retailer, and RT Pastry Holdings, the bakery chain.
Okay, and they're raising funds for expansion.
That's the plan. Nationwide expansion, specifically mentioning pushes into the East Coast and southern regions. It signals some confidence in the consumer sector, wouldn't you say?
It does seem that way. Okay, let's pivot now to some broader economic and, infrastructure news. There was a major power outage recently.
Yes. Quite disruptive. A lightning strike hit the Edra Malacca power plant. Now, this is the country's largest gas plant, supplying over 10% of the peninsula's maximum demand.
And the impact was widespread.
Oh, yeah. Temporary blackouts hit parts of the Klang Valley and even Johor Bahru. It was actually the largest disruption we've seen since 2022.
So what does that tell us?
Well, it really highlights a vulnerability, doesn't it? Relying on these big centralized power sources. When one goes down, especially the biggest one, the ripple effect is significant. It underlines the need for a really robust and maybe more decentralized grid. Resilience is key.
Makes sense. Now, from physical infrastructure to digital, the government's looking at social media regulation.
That's right. The communications minister announced plans to mandate EKYC, that's electronic KYC, know your customer for social media platforms.
The goal being?
Primarily to stop users under 13 from getting accounts, so child protection, but also, and this is crucial, to curb criminal activity, especially scams. Apparently, something like 78% of all the scam-related content they took down recently originated from Facebook alone. So this is a direct attempt to tackle that.
78%.
Yeah.
Staggering. Okay, finally, on the home front, let's talk fiscal health. The Ministry of Finance seems confident about the deficit target.
They are. They're sticking to the goal of hitting a 3.8% of GDP fiscal deficit for 2025. And, hitting targets is generally good.
But there's a but, isn't there?
There usually is. The bigger worry, especially for, say, international credit rating agencies, is the debt situation. The federal debt to GDP ratio is sitting at 64.7%. The legal ceiling is 65%. So very, very close.
Tight.
Very tight. And maybe even more concerning, the debt service charges, basically the cost of servicing that debt, are projected to hit 17% of government revenue in 2026. The legal limit there is 15%.
So we're bumping right up against those limits.
Exactly. It means fiscal management needs to be incredibly precise. There's just not much wiggle room.
Okay, let's look overseas quickly. Metals seem to be on a tear. Gold especially.
Gold certainly is. It broke through US $4,200 an ounce. A lot of that is driven by expectations of U.S. interest rate cuts finally happening, plus the usual safe haven demand.
And copper, too.
Oh, copper stories may be even more dramatic. Some traders are talking about it potentially hitting U.S. $12,000 a ton.
12,000. What's behind that surge?
It's a combination of things. Supply issues like mine disruptions, but also just huge demand coming from the green energy transition. Think EVs, grids, and crucially from artificial intelligence. AI data centers need tons of copper.
Which brings us neatly to AI deal-making, a massive one involving aligned data centers.
Absolutely colossal. A U.S. $40 billion deal. An investor group, backed by heavyweights like BlackRock and NVIDIA, is buying them.
$40 billion. That just shows the scale of investment going into AI infrastructure.
It really does. It underscores this intense global race for computing power. Companies are scrambling to secure data center capacity because they know it's fundamental for developing and deploying large AI models. It's like the new strategic resource. And you see competitors reacting too, right? Intel's planning to launch its new AI chip, Crescent Island, next year to try and keep pace.
So a lot happening across the board. That wraps up our deep dive for today.
Yeah, quite a mix. We've seen these huge numbers, billion ringgit projects here, US $40 billion deals globally. I think the key takeaway for you listening is maybe this underlying theme of resilience and risk, balancing all this exciting growth like the AI boom or regional power exports against the hard realities like Malaysia's debt metrics being right at the legal limits or the vulnerability highlighted by that power outage. We need strong infrastructure, strong governance, strong finances to really capitalize on the opportunities.
Well said. A reminder to always look at the foundations. If you value this kind of concise, insightful summary of what's moving markets and policy, make sure you subscribe to the Malaysia Money Matters podcast. We'll be back tomorrow to deep dive into the next stack of sources.
Hey there, thanks for tuning in. If you would like a deeper dive into all the investment opportunities from today's news, subscribe to my newsletter at moneymatters.substack.com. I will be sharing a deeper analysis of the key investment opportunities from today's news, including what makes these opportunities stand out and how they fit into the broader market trends. By subscribing to the Malaysia Money Matters newsletter, you will also get exclusive insights on my watch list and portfolio and fundamental reports on Malaysian listed companies.